Alright guys, today we are going to be reacting to 8 things we hate about living in Germany as an American. Let's jump in, guys.
Germany, which there are tons of. Today, I'm here to talk about the things we hate about calling Germany home.
Ooh, okay, we're starting saucy. Okay, let's go.
One thing we really dislike in Germany is the overall efficiency, and that's not to say it's inefficient. Germany is very efficient, however, a lot of their systems, while efficient for people who understand them, are really confusing and difficult for people who don't. So it's one of those things where you have a question about it, and Germans just kind of simply understand it because they grew up knowing the systems and they grew up knowing exactly how they work, so they work efficiently for them. But as Americans living in Germany and not understanding those systems, they can be quite confusing sometimes, or probably as any foreigner living in Germany. They're very different from the systems in other countries, therefore confusing to you, making them inefficient. But again, very efficient for Germans, just inefficient for people who don't understand the systems.
It's inefficient, but inefficient. It's efficient, but inefficient, I guess. Okay,
so I know this complaint about living in Germany is not going to come off well today, especially given the sky behind me, and that's the weather. Now, when we moved here, we did know it was going to be colder. We knew it was going to be colder than Spain, where we lived before, and we knew it was going to be about the same, even though not quite as cold as Wisconsin, where we're from. However, what really bothers us is more the gray skies. In Germany, compared to Madrid, there's over 1,000 hours less sunlight per year. And even compared to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there's about 800.
Hey, shout out to the dude, man. This is what I'm located in, Wisconsin. I used to live in Milwaukee, actually, for 2 years. Great place, very beautiful city. So crime rate's kind of high. That's the only thing. It got kind of weird. And I don't want to get into politics, but the crime is high. But it's a beautiful city. Great people there, man, too. Now I live in north side Wisconsin. This thing is cold. I said Milwaukee is not that cold, guy. It is cold, but not that cold as here. Here we can get negative 25, negative 30 Fahrenheit.
Less hours of
with the wind, that is, right?
Sunlight per year. So that's something that we feel like has affected us, and Germans are very quick to point out that, hey, you need to take your vitamin D supplement because you're going to miss out on sunlight. And that's just something that I guess we've gotten used to in a way, but it's definitely something we hate about living in Germany is the lack of sunlight and generally, obviously not today, the cloudy skies. While not in a train station, this seems like the perfect time to complain about Deutsche Bahn. It has an extensive network of rail lines and it connects the country of Germany beautifully. We've never lived or been in another country that's so well connected by train. However, the trains are delayed so often or just canceled for no apparent reason that it can be so frustrating to take a trip.
Wow, really, man, Deutsche Bahn. We reacted to some of the Deutsche Bahn's videos, and those trains look gorgeous, man. It's very sad, very sad.
Another pretty annoying thing we found about Germany is the fact that places close pretty early. We found it when we lived here this last summer, is that when the sun sets at about 10 p.m., places are already closed at 8, especially places like ice cream. Why would you close at 8 when the sun's out until 10 and it's hot out? It just doesn't make sense to us, and sometimes even trying to find a meal after 9 p.m. on a weekend can be challenging, and you don't just want a kebab. You want something good. You want to be able to sit down and have a nice meal. Not that kebabs are bad, but it's something we really think is annoying and that we just don't really like about Germany is that places close super early.
Again, we're just getting a perspective here from Americans. These are not the things that are like, right? We already reacted to multiple Americans saying that, you know what, we like this stuff, we love this stuff, we love our Germany, but it's a good, good perspective from another American to get what things they don't like about the country.
Another thing we hate about Germany, especially when compared to Spain, not so much the United States though, is the car and driving culture. Now, a lot of Germany's economy is built on BMW, Mercedes, Audi, all those famous German car companies, and it keeps the economy going, it keeps the country going. However, one thing we really miss is the right of pedestrians. While Germany is way more pedestrian friendly and safe than the United States, which we love, we do miss in Spain all the pedestrian crossings that are actually marked, like the zebra crossings, where once a pedestrian steps in there, cars have to stop. You don't find those so much in Germany, at least in the
Really? That's interesting. You don't find those in Germany that often. That's interesting.
Places we've been, and that's something we really
Let me know in
miss,
the
where if they
conversation
put
below.
those in, it would be pedestrian first, then bike, then car, and that's the way we love it. Whereas without those crossings marked, cars have the right of way and pedestrians have to wait. That's something we don't really feel contributes to a positive city and a positive community for people, but rather for cars. And we would love to see it if Germany put in more of those.
Okay. All right.
Another thing that we find a bit annoying here in Germany is the fact that most apartments don't have exterior balconies. They have balconies, but they're all facing an interior patio, so it's really quiet. We really miss the street noise we had in Madrid, living on a pretty busy street with tapas bars and just white noise outside. We're not sure if that's because Germans like their privacy or if it's just the way that they did the architecture here for a long time and it kind of stuck. So again, I guess let us know in the comments what you think about that. But having a nice exterior balcony, we always felt like made us part of the community a little bit more. You got to see what was going on, see other people, but I suppose you lack a little bit of privacy there. So again, drop that in the comments if you know. Now, before I get to this next one, I want to say that there are tons of things we hate about living in the United States, and we could do probably a whole range of videos about that. There are also some things we hated about living in Spain, and you can check those out right up here. But this one, I have to say, I absolutely do not understand about Germany. Why don't you have public drinking fountains? I don't get it. You love recycling.
Well, that's more like an American thing, I guess, right?
Love being environmentally friendly, but you don't put in public drinking fountains. When we talked about that in one of our first videos, some people said it was because the government couldn't ensure that it was perfectly safe drinking water in every single public drinking fountain all the time. That doesn't really make sense because I'm sure Norway has strict water regulations as well as a bunch of other countries in the EU, yet they have them all over the place. So I don't get it. It would make the country a lot more environmentally friendly. You would allow people to have access to clean drinking water all over the place. It would reduce glass and plastic water bottles, even though the recycling system here seems to be pretty good, albeit confusing. But I just don't get it. So again, drop it in the comments if you know, because why wouldn't you have public drinking fountains everywhere? Or
I don't know. That's a good question, man. We have those here in the United States everywhere. Everywhere that you go, you see them.
As we like to say from Wisconsin, bubblers. All right, Germany, this is the thing we hate the absolute most about living here, and that is smoking. We do not understand it. We do not understand why so many people smoke. We don't understand the cigarette vending machines that are everywhere, and specifically, we don't understand why they allow smoking in all these small corner dive bars. We see a bar, we're like, oh my God, we'd love to be there. And then all of a sudden there's a sign that says you can smoke in there. And it's like, well, I guess that's not a place we can go. It eliminates so many options. And even when you're out, maybe at a restaurant or a beer garden or sitting on a terrace somewhere, there are people smoking. Now, if you know why smoking is so popular, we just like to know. So drop that in the comments because
it's a cultural thing, man. I think maybe their cigarettes are not that bad as ours. So I mean, ours, man, people were getting deleted left and right, man, getting cancer in their body and stuff like that. I mean, you know how the United States, we just create stuff and I don't know why it just destroys you for some reason. That's my take on it.
It's kind of crazy to see, especially coming from Spain and living in the United States where they've kind of said no smoking in almost everywhere inside, that in Germany it's so popular and they haven't really done anything about it. It's a little bit shocking to us, and it's really something we hate about living here because, especially with Becca being pregnant, it was really annoying trying to find some places or having to move where there wasn't smoke being blown in your face. So let us know in the comments because it's probably the #1 thing we don't like about living in Germany. That's gonna do it.
Well, I would like to hear you guys' opinion as well, man. Because it is one of the things that I noticed when I went to Italy and Bulgaria as well. A lot of people like to smoke. Even when I was in Austria, in the airport of Austria, there's literally a place where you can go there and just smoke. I'm like, God damn, bro, like, what in the hell, bro? Like, I think we have those in the United States, but usually those are empty. Or you only have one guy just sitting down, just looking at his phone. But it's not at the level that I encounter in Europe. Like, you have these places full, man, packed with people smoking. Never understood that. But I would love to hear you guys' opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear some responses for you guys. I will see you next one.